Gertrude, or Trudy as she was known to her family, was the youngest of 3 daughters. Nobody expected too much from Trudy, but she had this incredible determination. And in the water, she said she found a kind of solace and freedom that she never found on land. And then she broke the record. She was not only the first woman, she beat the men, all men before her, by 2 hours. Heroism can come from anywhere. It comes from a kind of determination to do something nobody's done before. In school, nobody really taught us about women who were pioneers or great statespeople or scientists. That none of that ever came up. So when I was a kid, frankly, my women heroes were fictional characters. They were Pippi Longstocking and Podkayne of Mars, who stows away on a rocket ship and goes to Mars.
The woman who inspires me is not actually one specific woman, but the cultural icon Rosie the Riveter, who represented a lot of women who went back to work during World War II. Women who had been homemakers before suddenly found themselves building airplanes or creating munitions or working in capacities that they never found themselves working in before. I came across this image of Rosie the Riveter, and I don't know what specifically struck me about it, but it was just, I think, something in the idea of we can do it. That strength comes from doing things that you thought you couldn't do, and that inspired me from a very young age.
I've been inspired by Emma Goldman ever since I learned about her in college. She believed in free love, in freedom of speech, freedom of expression, promoting birth control when it was illegal. She was rabidly anti-capitalist. She never stopped. She never gave up. She was always moving forward, and that is a huge inspiration to me. But she was told once that she needed to temper her behavior because it didn't behoove the revolution to dance with so much abandon. And she said, roughly, "If I cannot dance, I want no part of your revolution."
A woman who inspires me is Temple Grandin. She is a professor of animal science as well as a world-renowned spokesperson for autism. As she was starting her career, the way that animals were being brought into slaughterhouses was actually not as humane or efficient as it could have been. But because of her unique perspective, she was able to really change the game. She was a woman who was living with autism in a male-dominated industry. But despite these things, and somewhat because of these things, she was able to make huge changes to the industry and the humane treatment of animals. I think that's really cool, and it makes me want to be that brave.
The woman who inspires me the most, and in fact the woman who has always been my greatest inspiration, is my mom. I think the thing that my mom taught me the most is to be strong, to be independent, to be resourceful, and yet at the same time fiercely loyal, fiercely loving, and fiercely dedicated. Her family is now and always will be the most important thing to her. One of the things that I realize in the play, Pirates Crossing, as I play young Mabel, I realize how desperately important a relationship with her mom is. And she doesn't really have that. And it's through the rehearsing and the telling of this story that I'm even more grateful for the warm and really deep friendship that I have with my mom.
Searching out on my own, I discovered real versions of adventurers who were women. I think my first hero I can remember was Amelia Earhart, because she climbed in a plane and did something no woman had ever done. These days, I'm super inspired by Michelle Obama because she's so smart and she's so powerful and impactful, and I think she inspires a lot of young women today. And I hope that in schools they are now teaching about all of these amazing women who have changed lives throughout history.